Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Dakota. Today we're diving into a financial filing from BRT Apartments, and trust me, it's more exciting than it sounds. It involves an executive's retirement, some stock shenanigans, and a rather large expense. Don't worry, by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly what's going on. Before we start, if you appreciate getting straight insights from corporate documents, make sure you're subscribed. We also have a Discord community linked in the description below where you can chat with other smart investors. So BRT Apartments filed a report on May 28, 2025 about some changes happening within the company, the most significant being an executive's departure. Let's talk about Mitchell Gould, the executive vice president. Originally, he was planning to retire sometime in early 2026. However, plans changed and he's now retiring much sooner, actually in July of 2025. This early retirement triggers a few things related to his stock options. Basically, he had two types of stock awards. One involves restricted stock units for 35,197 shares. These require certain performance goals to be met before he gets the shares. And because he is leaving early, he won't meet these requirements. So he's forfeit, meaning giving up those shares. However, he also has restricted stock awards for 50,810 shares. Because he's leaving, the company has allowed those shares to vest, meaning become fully his, steadily over the next 5 years following the original vesting schedule. So he also has restricted stock awards for 50,810 shares. Because he's leaving, the company has allowed those shares to vest, meaning become fully his steadily over the next 5 years following the original vesting schedule. So over the next 5 years, depending on the schedule outlined in the plan, his amount of shares will increase. Now, here's where it hits the company's bottom line. Because of this accelerated vesting of the vice president's restricted stock awards, BRT Apartments is expecting to take a $237,000 hit. This will show up as a non-cash general and administrative expense, which is a type of operating expense on their financial statements for the quarter ending in September. Essentially, it's an accounting adjustment to reflect the value of those stock awards being vested faster than planned. Think of it as an expense they have to record because they are giving him stock instead of cash. Interestingly, the company doesn't plan to directly replace Mitchell Gould as executive vice president, but they might hire someone in a more junior position. This could signal a change in strategy, perhaps streamlining management, or they might just shift his responsibilities to other executives who will handle them. Only time will tell their plan, but for now, all they can do is state potential plans. Finally, the report is signed off by George Swire, the Vice President and Chief Financial Officer, on July 11, 2025. This confirms the accuracy of the information presented to now. Let's step back and look at the bigger picture. This situation is interesting, and executive retiring earlier than expected always raises questions, even if it appears friendly. It can point to internal changes or strategic shifts within the company. The non-cash expense, while not impacting their cash flow directly, will reduce their reported profits for the quarter. Investors will need to look closely at the reasons behind this. If it's a one-time event and the company is financially stable, it shouldn't cause alarm. However, it could be a problem if it is a sign of other expenses on the way. Thus, it is important to keep an eye on it. The decision to not replace the executive directly and look for a more junior employee potentially indicates cost-cutting measures or a desire to restructure the management team. Cost-cutting is not always a bad thing, but depending on the cost being cut, such as important operations, it may impact the operations of the firm for the worse. From an investor's point, it is important to watch the impacts on the firm. Overall, while this report isn't earth-shattering, it provides valuable insights into BRT Apartments' internal operations and potential future direction. Investors should keep an eye on the company's performance in the coming quarters to see how these changes play out. Alright, that's our breakdown of BRT Apartments' latest filing. What's your take on these changes and what they signal for the company's future? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If this analysis was valuable, hitting that like button really helps, and subscribe for more deep dives. Don't forget to check out the Discord in the description. Thanks for watching. See you next time.